New year, new money, new opportunities, man. What I'm gonna do today is I wanna show you how y'all can actually make money with the funding, right? So what we do is we teach entrepreneurs how to start and grow six-figure funding companies part-time.
Okay.
Right. And the reason I emphasize the part-time because with a lot of businesses, people will tell you, you got to be all in on it. You need to be full-time, but it's just something where whether you're working a 9 to 5, whether you already have an existing business, you can just add an additional 6 figures onto that. All right. So there's different types of ways of funding. First, what we can talk about is foundationally personal funding, right? Because a lot of people, when we hear business funding, we think that's the holy grail, but it depends on the client's situation. For example, I got a student of mine, he made $41,000 in commissions last year from running his funding company, and 30 of that was from personal funding. And a lot of times it's because when we think bad credit, we can't fund people, that's not necessarily true. For example, if a person has decent data points, right, which means their credit report is in decent shape, the only thing they may have that's out of line is high utilization. Well, there are a lot of lenders on the personal side. For example, you got places like Upstart, Upgrade, Avant. All right, these places will loan you money to be able to pay down your credit card utilization. So what we'll do is we get paid twice on those type clients. So what he's been doing is running the same play, right? And I'm gonna give you another hack. If you go in Credit Karma, all right, they will let you know if you have pre-approval offers. And I know most times people tell you we don't trust Credit Karma, but they have an option where if you don't get that pre-approval, they say they will pay you. So if someone has, let's say they got a 670, and it's because maybe their utilization is 25, 30, 40, even 50%, and you get one of these personal loans from the sites that I just gave you, now you're gonna get paid 10% of that commission. So for example, if they needed $40,000 to cover their utilization, and you go get them that $40,000, now we're gonna get $4,000 commission there. And the cool thing is you don't have to wait for them to come in, because typically them personal loans are gonna hit you within 24 hours. So they're gonna get that money, you're gonna get paid fast.
Okay.
And then now that their utilization down under that 15%, now what we do is we'll let that age out for another 30 days, and then we can now go for 0% interest business funding. So then we go into 0% interest credit card stacking, which is the most common people talk about. And the reason it's the most common because it puts people in the best position, right? Most people, entrepreneurs, if they're startup entrepreneurs, they don't really know how to go out and always execute. So what we want to do is we want to give them most leverage, the most opportunity to win, and 0% interest does that. For example, most lenders, 80% of national lenders, they have a credit card with a 0% interest period, anywhere from 9 to 18 months. So for example, if someone wants to get into the car rental game, they can now go get approved from Chase Inc. business card, Bank of America business credit card. They can get the American Express blue cards, and now they could go pay Mitch, then they could go get the cars, then they can go put them on the platforms, and now they got 12 months before that 20% interest starts accruing. So now they have the opportunity to create cash flow and pay the cards back or pay them down. So now they're in a position where they can win. Because what happens is if a person goes out and they get a 20% interest credit card, they don't even have a plan to execute yet. Now they're drowning before they've gotten a chance to win. Right. That's why what I recommend people doing with these credit cards is understanding that you need to go get a high income skill first. So now we know how to go get the money, flip the money, and then pay it back. And now we stay in the green. When it comes to personal and business funding, when we get business funding, those accounts will never report to our personal credit bureaus unless you default on that. So that's why I tell people, don't think, because on the internet, I know sometimes you get content without context, right? You still have to pay those back. I don't want y'all thinking, oh, I'm getting this money in my business name, it doesn't matter if I don't make payments. No, it very much does. If you don't make on-time payments, it will report to the personal credit bureaus, and then you will be at a position where you can't now get funding. All right, so that's the major difference.